A new survey shows 71% of managers say their Gen Z workers expect praise and recognition just for completing basic tasks. Campus reform reporter Emily Sturge joins me. Emily, I find that hard to believe. I'm much older than you, and I can't understand this new generation. But you tell me, why do you think young workers need this kind of, validation? Why?
Well, let's trace it right back to college campuses where this mentality of mediocrity is being cultivated. Okay, grade inflation. Yale is handing out A's like they're candy. Nearly 80% of grades handed out at Yale are A's. The SAT and the ACT are even lowering their standards as academic ability is declining. So when students can't meet standards in the education system, higher ed just erases them. So it's no wonder why Gen Zers are taking that mentality to the workplace, expecting that same praise.
It doesn't help if everybody gets a participation trophy just for showing up. That's part of this as well, isn't it?
No, and this is the participation trophy generation actually grown up. But there is a silver lining. There are many of us who are actually trying to defy these Gen Z stereotypes. And look, the study also shows the way that Gen Z handles constructive criticism. Instead of toughening up and facing it, they're actually opting out. They're quitting. They're resorting to social media. They're complaining about it. They're calling out sick the next day. Look, those are actions taken from college campuses. These are students that can't face differing opinions because they never had to face it on their campus.
But I should also point out that almost all older people, older generations, are always critical of the new, young, upstart generation. That's a universal truth, I think. One more for you. Some colleges now allow students to have pets in their dorm room. Supposedly that reduces stress and anxiety. They're not service animals, they're pets. What do you think to that?
Look, dorms are not designed for animals, but I think we need to treat Gen Zers like adults because they are adults. They can vote, they can join the military, they can own a gun. If they want to adopt a pet, they should be able to. One of the best decisions I ever made in my life was when I was a college student. I adopted a cat named Penny. And Stu, I've joined your show from my college apartment with my cat sitting behind the camera. So for some students, it works if they're responsible, if they can take accountability. It doesn't work for all students.
Wait. Are we to believe that the current generation, the Gen Z generation, experiences more stress and anxiety than anybody else in history? Really?
Well, we've reported at the Leadership Institute's campus reform that, yes, there is a mental health crisis, but I would say that the higher education system is spurring it on, and we're seeing the higher ed system actually subsidize some of these therapy animals. I reported at the University of Oregon has brought in therapy ducks, therapy goats, therapy dogs for students on campus. I think that's absolutely ridiculous, but once again, it's a personal decision. If a Gen Zer wants to adopt or foster an animal, I say they should go for it.
We're going to leave it right there, Emily. Really,
Thanks so much
we're going to
for
leave it right
having me.
there. But thanks for being with us this morning.